Our beloved Prophet Muhammad said, it's mentioned in Sunan Abu Dawud, volume number 2, in the book of Zakat, hadith number 1605. The beloved Prophet Muhammad said that it is obligatory on every Muslim, it is further on every Muslim to give Zakatul-Fitr, that is Sadaqah, charity for the breaking of the fast, for the purification of the breaking of the fast from empty and obscene talks, and for feeding the poor. And Zakatul-Fitr should be given before the Salah of Eid-ul-Fitr. If it is given before Eid-ul-Fitr Salah, it is Zakatul-Fitr. If it is given after the Salah of Eid-ul-Fitr, then it is normal Sadaqah. Based on hadith, we come to know the main reason, the main wisdom for the giving of Zakatul-Fitr is so that the very poor Muslims, they have food to eat on the main day of the year, that is the festival. The Eid-ul-Fitr is the main festival for the Muslims throughout the year. And because of that, every Muslim at least should have sufficient food to eat. But mainly for the very poor people, wisdom is that they enjoy that day and they don't have to bother about eating, etc. It should be given by the rich people. Number 2, it is given for the purification of our fast. The mistake that we do, the empty talks, the obscene talks, the false talks, it purifies and cleanses the mistakes we have done in the fast. Thirdly, it is to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has given us the ability and made us fast the complete month of Ramadan. And lastly, it acts as a purification for the minor sins that we might have committed while fasting in the month of Ramadan, because minor sins, they decrease our reward. So when we give Zakatul-Fitr, it cleanses the minor sins so that it prevents taking away the reward that we have earned in the month of Ramadan. As far as giving of Zakatul-Fitr is concerned, it should be given in the form of food. It can be dates, can be barley, can be wheat, can be rice, it can be raisin, it can be oats, it can be any staple food. Whatever the staple food of that country, of that city, if it's wheat, give wheat, if it's rice, give rice, if it's date, give date. And it is unanimously agreed that it should be in the form of food, and it can be preferable in the form of any grain, like wheat, rice, etc. And our beloved Prophet Muhammad said, it's mentioned in Sahih Bukhari, volume number 2, in the book of Zakat, hadith number 1503. Narrated Ibn Umar, may Allah be with him, he said that Allah's Messenger has enjoined to give 1 sa of dates or 1 sa of barley as Zakatul-Fitr for every Muslim, slave or free, male or female, young or old, and it should be given before the Eid-ul-Fitr Salah. There's another hadith mentioned in Sahih Bukhari, volume number 2, in the book of Zakat, hadith number 1510, narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, that at the time of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we used to give 1 sa of food as Zakatul-Fitr. And our food used to be barley, it used to be raisins, cottage cheese, and dates. So all these things are mentioned in the hadith. It's mentioned in a Sahih hadith of Ibn Khuzaimah, hadith number 2417. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be with him, he said, the sadaqah of Ramadan, that is Zakatul-Fitr, is 1 sa. If someone gives wheat, then it should be accepted. If someone gives date, it should be accepted. If someone gives raisin, it should be accepted. So these are the various types mentioned in the hadith. But in short, it's understood that it should be food, preferably in the form of grain. And as far as the question is concerned, that can we give something else like money, etc., it's a unanimous agreement that it should be food. You can't give anything else. You can't give money, you cannot give any clothes to the poor man or some furniture. If you want to give it as normal charity, you can give anything. But as far as Zakatul-Fitr is concerned, it should be given in the form of food. And it's clearly mentioned in the hadith. In the hadith is quoted that it should be given before the Eid prayer. The reason is that the poor man at least has something to eat on that day. If you give him money, he may keep for some other time, etc. So it should be in the form of food, so at least his stomach is full and he doesn't have to bother about eating for that day of festival. So it's unanimous agreement that it should be given in the form of food. you can give the equivalent amount of money to a responsible person or any charitable organization who says that, okay, with this money we'll buy the amount of food and give it to the very poor man or the needy man. But finally, when it reaches the recipient, it should be in the form of food. I know that there are some people who say that you can give in the form of money to the poor man, but there's no hadith at all whatsoever. So giving your own opinion based on no hadith and no backing from Quran Sunnah, it's not allowed. Some people argue, saying that at the time of the Prophet, there was no currency, there was no paper money, that's why zakat wasn't given in the form of money, but today we can give. They fail to realize that at the time of the Prophet and at the time of Sahabas, there were dirhams, there were dinar, it was not in the form of paper currency, but there was money where people used to use in the form of dirham and dinar. So to use this argument is totally wrong. So the right thing is that it should only be given in the form of food.